Zach Allen versus Nick Benito, both on contract years. I feel like this is a pretty good one. Like, I know some people will feel very strongly about one player or another, but I don't know, man. Like, dude, you got to really cut one of these guys. Like, that's tough.
Oh man.
It's two of the best defensive players in the league.
Yo, like, oh man.
Welcome back to another episode of the Broncos Avenue podcast. I'm your host, Amir Farrell, with my co-host, Evan Petruk. The Denver Broncos just signed a standout cornerback from the UFL who also won a national championship with Clemson. And in a corresponding move, Denver moved on from one of their second-year defensive backs. Plus, stay tuned to the very end of the episode. We got another edition of Cut and Keep. This time, I'll be naming the players. I got a list together that I definitely didn't compile from ChatGPT that I'll be having Evan answer today. But how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Almost done getting my certifications. I'll be done tomorrow. So by the next time we're recording, I'll be certified. So you
Yes,
guys
sir.
feel free to congratulate me and tell me how awesome I am in the comments.
Yep, there's
You guys
definitely going to
love
be,
doing that.
yeah, this is definitely going to be like multiple very positive comments congratulating you, commenting on how handsome you are. Like,
hmm
yeah. First, shout out to people that are actually positive in our comment sections. Shout out to Christopher Kramer. Thank you so much. I seen you comment on one of our videos. Thank you, man, for commenting on our videos, being positive. It's engaging in our community and growing our community. Because the more you comment on the videos, the more you're pushing out our content and growing our community. So thank you, man. Appreciate you. All right, let's go and jump into this news. According to multiple sources, the Denver Broncos have agreed to terms with 25-year-old cornerback Mario Goodrich, who spent one season in the UFL with the Birmingham Stallions and tallied 17 tackles, a tackle for loss, 6 pass breakups, and 3 forced fumbles in 7 total games. He also appeared in 4 regular season games with the Eagles in 2023 and started in 1 before being waived as a rookie undrafted free agent. He also spent time with the Giants, who actually signed him first. Goodrich is also from the Kansas City area, so I don't know if he went. I don't think he was a Chiefs fan growing up because I think he moved to Georgia. I think I read he was kind of raised in Georgia, the Atlanta area instead. But kind of cool to see one of the Kansas City like kind of the Chiefs natives now part of the Broncos going up against him potentially twice a year if he does make the team or even the practice squad for that matter. But overall, what were your thoughts on this addition to the team, Evan? You have some when we were going through it like pre-episode, you're bringing up some interesting things about him.
Yeah, no, he was a former top 10 cornerback recruit coming out of high school, so I thought that was pretty cool. You know,
It's like
he had that
nobody knew
potential
that.
in him. And he was a captain at Clemson. So again, another one of those guys that was a captain at a different level of football, man. Like I can't tell you how many former captains we have on this roster. I mean, we preach and preach and preach the character requirements to be recruited and signed to the organization. It's something they hold in such high regard. So, I mean, it just shows that there's lots of good guys in the room. I mean, you can't be an idiot and get a captain's patch. I don't think, at least, especially at a prestigious school like Clemson. Now, there are some concerns. I don't know if it's really a concern. It was 5 years ago, but he had an ankle surgery. It was a lingering problem that followed him from high school. So he was playing in high school, top 10 cornerback recruit in the nation with a lingering ankle injury. So I thought that was also pretty cool. He's a very physical player. He's not like the most athletic, like freaky speed or anything like that, but he's got decent size and he's not scared to play the run. So I definitely can see him contributing special teams. Obviously, I don't think he's going to get, the starting nod as a cornerback on our team, considering how deep our secondary is. But I can definitely see a situation where he is a solid special teamer for us.
Yeah, seems like there's some pretty high upside with him. Obviously, you can point out the obvious. He was not good enough to make a team, and well, he did make the Eagles roster and spent a few games with them before getting waived. But obviously, he stood out enough. With the Birmingham Stallions this year after he signed with them in February, spent 7 games with them. Sean Payton, Vance Joseph, George Payton, they thought he played well enough on tape for them to give him obviously a chance to learn behind Patrick Surtain, Riley Moss, other guys we have in that room to potentially make this team. Because I saw someone mention this, and it was a good point. Like, Yeah, we do have Riley Moss and Sertan and Chris Abrams-Drain, but like after that, the depth does get a little concerning because while Jaire Barron can play outside, we would rather keep him in his natural spot. He even said it himself, like he would rather stay in his natural spot in the nickel and start there. Jaquan McMillan, you can put him on the outside as well, but like you shouldn't just solely rely on guys like from the nickel to help you out on the boundary. I feel like bringing someone in like this, if he plays extremely well in preseason and camp, why not give him a chance to make it over Damari Mathis or even just have another corner on this roster? That would obviously serve really well. And I'm not mentioning Tanner McCalister because the Broncos in a corresponding move did waive him, the second year defensive back, to reach the 90-man roster limit heading into training camp. So that was the corresponding move there. What were your overall thoughts on losing him? Obviously, it's not like the biggest thing in the world, but something to talk about.
I think that's the main thing is you're basically like Tanner McCalister wasn't going to get any starting reps, so you're basically swapping for someone who is a special teamer who has just as good of a special team potential as a Tanner McCalister, but has the potential of being a backup outside corner, maybe by some miracle being a solid starter as a boundary corner. So I mean, you never know with guys. Guys get second chances all the time. This is like a little bit of a weird comparison, but a big one I think of is Cameron Wake. Like he came to the NFL at 36 from the CFL and was one of the best defensive linemen in the league. And it's just, second chances, right? Guys getting, opportunities playing in the NFL and just situations like that, maybe he runs very well in the system that Denver runs or something like that. I don't know. Maybe he gets better in man coverage. Maybe, someone just clicks in his head. So I just think that the potential outweighs with waiving Tanner McCalister. And I think that the benefit of, like I said, potential starting outside corner, obviously that's a little bit extreme to say. I think it outweighs just a solid special teamer.
Yeah. If anything, if Tanner McCallister's that big of a loss, they may re-sign him at one point during camp. That happens a lot, honestly. Like this might be just like a procedural move, but we'll see how that situation goes. I'm honestly after we swapped out McCallister for Goodrich, this is a massive dub. When you mentioned he's a top 10 corner recruit, like that's huge. The fact that we're having someone with that much upside in this room, he can only get better when you're learning behind the best defensive back in the world. All right. Speaking of the best defense, I saw a tweet. I wanted to briefly mention this. Ryan Edwards tweeted this. Shout out to Ryan. We've had him on the show twice. He said, "What's the better secondary after the Ravens just signed Jaire Alexander? The Broncos or the Ravens?" And I thought it was interesting because some of the replies and quote tweets were defending the Ravens, saying that they're now the best secondary in the league, just because they think the depth in Denver secondary is a little suspect. The Broncos, obviously, if you guys don't know, if you're maybe not a Broncos fan watching this, they got Pat Surtain, Riley Moss, Jaire Barron, Jaquan McMillan. Their safeties, Tono Ufunga, and Brandon Jones. Then for the Ravens, you got obviously now Jaire Alexander, who signed a 1-year, $6 million contract. Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins. Nate Wiggins, an absolute beast. I don't know how to say his first name. Chidobe. Awuzie. And the safeties, Kyle Hamilton and Malachi Starks, which might be the best safety tandem in the league. That's pretty crazy. But what are your, obviously as Broncos fans, we're gonna obviously be a little biased, but like logically, what are your thoughts on the people defending the Ravens secondary?
Now, so we haven't seen Talanoa Hufanga and Brandon Jones play together. Now,
True.
I think that is either way. When you're looking at the Ravens, you're looking at the Broncos. Those are two of the most elite safety cores in the league. I don't think that's a debate. I am a huge Kyle Hamilton fan. I loved Kyle Hamilton coming out of the draft. I think the way he plays, like I love, oversized safeties that love to play in the box and are good in coverage. But I think that Malachi Starks is a perfect complement for him. I wasn't as high on Malachi Starks as I was on Kyle Hamilton when they were coming out. But I think Jaire Alexander is one of the most overrated corners in the league. I mean, when's the last time he played a full season? Like
The reason he got cut.
Yeah, and there's a reason why he got cut. Exactly. He was never healthy. He was never on the field. Now, I like Lamar too. Obviously AFC rival. And you guys calling us out for saying the Jets aren't a rival. We've played them 7 times in the last 8 years. other teams in the AFC that are competitive now, I'm not saying the Jets are competitive, are rivals to the Broncos, because especially when you're in a division with the Chiefs and the Chargers, I don't even think it's a debate anymore, the best division in the league. It's very hard to get the number one seed in your division. So you are fighting against teams from other divisions to get a wild card spot. So would you not classify as another team that's in a very hard division in the AFC North, excuse me? Would you not call them a rival? Because the Ravens, like, what if this? I'm not going to say the Steelers or the Bengals, but like, what if it did happen? What if the Ravens were competing for a wild card spot? That would make them rivals, would it not? So, anyways, putting that past it, I definitely don't think that the signing of Jaire Alexander makes their secondary better than Denver's secondary. I think that the fact that his injury history, and I think he was a pretty overrated player when he was in Green Bay. I think it closes the gap, but I still think Denver has the best secondary in the league.
Yeah, I think he gets a lot of love just because of his matchups against Justin Jefferson, who, in my opinion, is still the best receiver in the league.
I think Marlon Humphrey's also overrated.
Yeah, he gets cooked up pretty often.
He just gets turnovers. He plays in the slot. Like, I think Jahdae Barron has way more potential to be way better than Marlon Humphrey.
Oh
like,
yeah,
I think he's just an interception merchant, man. Like, I've never been very high on Marlon Humphrey. And there's a Alabama corner that's worth twice as more to his team on the other side of this argument. So
yeah, and going back to the whole like rival thing, I don't understand why that was that big of a deal that I put the word rival in the title. And also, yes, the Jets are a rival of the Broncos. They're, after all that Nathaniel Hackett, Sean Payton shit, like, what's the most drama you've seen among two NFL teams more than what you saw between Aaron Rodgers, Robert Saleh, and Nathaniel Hackett versus Sean Payton, the whole Russell Wilson, all that stuff? Like, yes, Russell Wilson's gone, and yes, they don't have Hackett. Or do they still have Hackett? No, they don't, right? Where's Hackett?
I don't know. They might have mutually parted ways. I thought he was like getting a job at McDonald's or something.
No way, dead ass. Where's Hackett at? I just
no
thought
idea.
about that.
He's just Aaron Rodgers' best buddy, man. Because he got like revoked play calling privileges too, so he was literally just there because he's Aaron Rodgers' friend. I thought you were gonna say the biggest controversy since like the Aaron Rodgers owning the Bears thing, because like that's the last thing.
Yeah, that's a rivalry for sure.
But that's a divisional rival, so like that makes sense. But like,
yeah,
I think when you play a team 7 out of the last 8 years, you are safe to call that team a rival, especially considering that in those 7 of the 8 years, excluding last year, they were both equally as bad of teams. Like I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Denver sucked and New York sucked. So like you're playing on the same skill level, playing each other 7 out of the last 8 years, and you're not going to call them a rival. I don't know, man.
There's clearly hate. I won't use the word hate, but there's strong bad taste between both teams. I remember there was like a video of someone like calling Sean Payton like a dumbass or something, or he called Sean Payton like some word at training camp, and Hackett like threw his fist up. Like there's clearly some sort, and then obviously the back and forth when Sean Payton was like using like interviews to take shots at, and I kind of disagree with how he handled that whole situation. It probably should have been more quiet, and he's been a lot better with that. But like looking back on it, it's honestly funny as hell because even though they got the best of us in that one game, like we still are the better team coming out of everything.
And I kind of look at it like, me personally, I think I got more satisfaction out of that Jets game last year than I did the second Raiders game. Like the first Raiders game, it was very satisfying, especially after that pick six. But I don't know, like I think that like I've always like not liked the Jets very much. Like it's satisfying, especially, you know, whenever it was like 2 or 3 years ago, the first Russell Wilson year, and we lost that game and to Zach Wilson. I think, was that 3 years ago?
It was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, that shit hurt my feelings, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like
the Russell Wilson
like
fumble.
That was tough, man. Yeah. Oh, it's stop. Like, oh, it's so nice. It's like I want you to stop because like it like pains me, but like looking back on it, like where we were and where we are now, like could you have pictured that we'd be in this situation after that first Russ year right
Yeah,
now?
like obviously a PTSD warning for the viewers, but like at the same time, like it's good to bring up these things because it reminds you of like how far we've come in just a short period of
Yeah.
time. Like
How fortunate we are to
this,
have Bo Nix on our team.
I was literally on this podcast with our old co-host talking about how we should absolutely sell this team, fire sale, get rid of everybody, and now we have one of the like arguably a top 12, definitely a top 16 quarterback, and he's entering year 2. We have the best defense in football, the best pass rush, the best secondary. We have a top 5 head coach. Everything is completely turned around. The whole Russell Wilson contract situation was supposed to kill us. We were supposed to be in money hell, and now we just had one of the best free agencies. Like
Don't forget Jeremy Crawshaw.
That's very random, but yes, Jeremy Crawshaw. He's gonna
Best
be
mustache in the league, man.
kicking the shit out of those footballs this year, man. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, just to wrap up that whole situation, I was gonna ask you how many interceptions do you think the secondary is gonna have this season? They had 15 in 2024. It's not like it matters that much.
It's hard to really
Yeah.
It's hard to really tell. I think Pat gets way less interceptions than he did last year.
Our pass rush got like significantly better, so it's gonna probably create more turnovers.
Yeah, I think that I don't really know about saying the turnovers, but I could see us getting more sacks than we did last year after breaking the franchise record for sacks, like consecutively breaking the franchise record. I could totally see that.
Fair. All right, let's go and dive into this cut and keep to wrap up today's show. If you guys aren't familiar, we did it in our last episode and we did it 2 episodes ago introducing it. I named 2 players and then Evan has to cut one and keep the other. In today's last 2 episodes we've been doing only current players. I'm throwing in some legends in there today. I'm throwing in some legends. So you got to hypothetically imagine like these 2 players are on your roster and
so you're not like getting rid of their legacies or anything like that.
No, don't worry for any of the listeners who are just completely like what's a hypothetical one I could throw out without naming the ones that I have right now, like I don't know, something super random like Joe Montana versus Tom Brady. Like obviously you're going to keep Tom Brady, but like if you're cutting Joe Montana, there's going to be that Niners fan in there saying, "How could you ever disrespect the legacy of Joe Montana?" It's a fucking game, bro. Chill. Like I saw someone get so mad over one of the most basic matchups we had in our last video. Like it was the end of the world. Like goodness, bro. I understand disagreeing with it, but
say it from both sides too. Yeah, that shit was insane, man. So mad.
Hey man, it's just a game, but all right, first one. I only got 3 by the way. So it'll be pretty quick. Zach Allen versus Nick Bonito, both on contract years. I feel like this is a pretty good one. Like I know some people will feel very strongly about one player or another, but I don't know, man. Like, dude, you got to really cut one of these guys. Like that's tough.
Oh man,
it's 2 of the best defensive players in the league.
Yo, like, oh man, like.
I don't even know which.
Yeah, like again, one of those ones you could see it from both sides, but I think I'm keeping Zach Allen. But I fucking love Nick Bonito. Pardon my language. Like that is the hardest one I think so far. But I'm keeping Zach Allen. I think.
That is, yeah. I was honestly expecting
neither one of them are getting cut. But you're expecting me to say Bonito?
No, I was expecting you to give me this matchup in the last episode because it's like I feel like
really?
I feel like that's such like a.
I was trying to go like realistic because like obviously we're keeping both of them and they're both getting extended. But
yeah.
I see what you're saying. Like I thought about it, but I'm like, yeah, it's just for fun. But like I think I'm gonna have to keep Zach Allen just for a couple of reasons. I think that. Just the depth that we have on edge, I think that they would have a less of an impact on us, especially depending on what John Franklin Myers does. But I also think that they're both equally as impactful. You know, obviously Benito is a sack monster, and he's one of the best edge rushers in the league. But I think that the value of Zach Allen and just looking at the roster as a whole, especially, you know, looking at the edge room, not saying our interior defensive line room isn't as deep, but I think that we'd have a better chance at winning more games without Benito than we would without Zach Allen. That's how I'm kind of looking at it. But it's very minuscule margin. Like I'd rather bash my head against the wall 1,000 times than have to actually live that experience in real life.
Sacrifice Russell Wilson instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with you. It's tough because I love Benito so much. Like he's one of the most like face of the league pass rushers in the
Yeah.
NFL right now. Like he's obviously the pick six against the Colts. Like what the
Oh
hell?
man, and he did the crotch grab too.
Who's making that play, bro? It's like
Yeah.
as a fan, you love seeing shit like that. I remember I went insane on stream when I saw that. But yeah, I would go Zach Allen just because if you took Zach Allen off his defense and you kept Nick Benito, we are struggling in that interior, in my opinion. Like we'll still be middle of the pack probably in the league, but we're struggling. I feel like Zach Allen still gets a little underappreciated by like non-Broncos fans in terms of how good this Broncos
He's
pass rush
so
is.
elite, dude.
Yeah, he wins very easily at the line. So. Prime.
Oh.
It's it's an easy one in my opinion, but like the old Broncos fans are gonna get on our ass for this. Prime Peyton Manning versus Prime Elway, but like Prime Broncos Peyton Manning. But like Prime Broncos Peyton Manning still better than Prime Colts Peyton Manning. There's gonna be some. I feel like there's gonna be some Broncos fans
Is that even an argument? Like,
yeah, yeah,
buddy, he's had the best season of all time as a quarterback. You get him in his prime, you're not taking him. Like, all you old heads get mad at me all you want. He broke every single season quarterback record. How can you not take him? He had the best season statistically for a quarterback ever. Now, don't talk to me about the Super Bowl because I was in a room full of Seahawks fans watching that shit. So, yeah, that is one of the most painful days of my life. But putting that past me, I don't even see how you old heads can argue this because, like, yeah, sure, making fun of me for doing, for doing this all you want, I don't care. But like, obviously, I respect everything John Elway's done. But if you're arguing that John Elway, you would take prime John Elway over prime Peyton Manning on the Broncos, you're out of your mind.
Well, speaking of jersey numbers getting replaced, Tanner McCalister, the fact that he got waived, number 30 is free, by the way, for all the fans that were they couldn't go on with their life with the number 30 being worn by another player. So, yeah, I agree with you. Prime Manning for sure. I thought it was a good one though, because like just imagine you had Prime John L. Like, dude, like his highlights are insane. Like he has definitely like top three arm talent, probably NFL history in my opinion. Um, like imagine having him in the same room. It's game day, week one. Like games on the line. You got prime Peyton Manning, prime John Elway, just like choosing between them. Like I'm picking Elway for. No, I'm sorry. I'm picking Manning for sure. But like having to tell John Elway sit down on the bench. Like yeah,
It's a hard one, but like Peyton Manning's the second best quarterback ever.
Yeah.
And he had the best season ever. It's hard because if you're looking at it, like obviously Elway's done so much, but I can't see how you argue this. I if you aren't agreeing with the logical point of view, this isn't even like personal preference. Like this is like statistically, logically has to be Peyton Manning. Feelings can't get in the way of this situation.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the best way I can explain it. All right, my last one is prime CJ Anderson versus prime Philip Lindsay.
Ooh.
CJ Anderson's a
Ooh.
massive fan favorite, and so was Philip Lindsay, but I feel like not as much as like CJ Anderson, like during the course of his Broncos career.
I love both of them, bro.
Yeah.
See, this one is like where it can get personal because like this one is like a preference thing,
Yeah.
but like the last one's not a preference, it's just a fact. God, man. I mean, like rookie Philip Lindsay was like so elite,
special.
Bro. Oh,
His
man.
for
He had the
anyone
hair flowing out of his helmet too.
who doesn't know his first two seasons, his first season he only started 8 games, 192 carries, 1,037 yards, and 5.4 yards attempt. Like that's insane. He only started.
But
8
like
games.
the thing is like every time you say the name CJ Anderson, all I can think about is the run against the Patriots, man. Like that's just like engraved in my brain. So like,
But
oh
like,
man,
you got to think of it as right now. Like we don't have a starting running back on our roster, and we need a run game.
who's our backup running back?
Jaleel McLaughlin. He's getting waived before the game.
So we only got one running back to rely on.
Yeah. It's either.
I'm low key taking Philip Lindsay, bro.
Yeah, I agree. I think the height of his
It's hard
career
though, man.
was like it was crazy. Like for his size, he shouldn't have been like moving and picking up yardage like he was. And like,
Yeah. But like the CJ Anderson memories,
yeah,
that's like our like I honestly I can see you justifying it from both ways, but I don't know. I think just like Philip Lindsay, like those teams were just poo poo, man, and just like he was just like a diamond in the rough, and like just the storyline behind him, first ever undrafted, a free agent to make the Pro Bowl as a rookie, like it's just and like the hair is I think putting it over the top for me.
yeah.
I love the hair, man.
All right, let us know what you guys thought in the comments down below of our keeping cut and the other news that we discussed in today's show. Let us know what you guys thought about that and the Broncos versus Ravens secondary talk. Love reading you guys' comments, feedback. I'm your host Amir Farrell with my co-host Evan Petruk. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody.